Okay, so this video is now a continuation of what I was doing before. I'm trying to make the spoiler. I accidentally tore the tape, so I made two more of them off camera. And what we want to do is we want to again tape this fold on the back side. So we have this, you fold it forward like this, and we want to get that nice and square. See, this is the smooth part. On the back is where we want to tape it together. So here's where we want to tape this together. It's a little hard to see because this whole thing is sparkling, but this edge we want to tape down to the streamer here. I'm going to go ahead and put the tape on this edge first. Get this nice and square first. Oh, doing it again. This time I put the ruler on it to make so that when I pull it's not so sharp. Okay, so first thing I want to do is put this on this side of the streamer. And this is not so easy because of the way it's sparkling. Okay, so now I have it on this side, and squeeze it down a little bit. And now I just want to fold this over. Now the best way to do this is, again, there's this folding back you got in the back of this. You hold that tight and keep this nice and square. Make sure it's very, very square. Line up the corners here. Hold it very, very tightly, and then just roll the tape down. Like that. You got a little bit of a wrinkle in there. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. These are going to happen. Okay, so this gives us a loop on one side. That's on this side here. So again, this is the leading edge over here. And the air is going to be rushing along this direction. It's going to hit this and cause this to flap back and forth. It's going to help shake the streamer back and forth. Okay, so now we want to put another loop on the other side. And I'm going to peel this up so it's ready for use. I'll pull it fast like that. Won't tear. Looks like that worked better pulling it off fast. There's, of course, the possibility of tearing the tape, but it looks like pulling it off fast also prevented it from getting all curly. Okay, so this part's a little bit more challenging because it's not so obvious. So we have a flap on the front. We might want to make another flap on the back. So this flap, it looks like it's around 1.5 inches long. It's okay. There's no real requirement on the length, and that's something you can experiment with. So the trick now, you want to fold it over to the side where we have the tape from before. I want to fold it on the joint, and that's why I have that dotted line. It helps me identify where the fold is going to occur. I'm going to fold that the opposite direction. Now you can see where this is going. Here's the flap we just did, and I just take this and fold this back to make a flap on the other side. So now we have a flap on the opposite side. And again, we want to line this up to be square as best we can. Let me fold this over. Now you can see we need to put the tape on here. So again, this mylar, even though you can squeeze it as much as you want, it just does not want to stay put. It tends to spring back. The tape is under here. So again, if you squeeze it really tight, the tape is going to keep the bend. Okay, so now that we've got that bend in it, I'm going to go ahead and attach this piece of tape to it. And those lines are very, very handy to help us line this up. You see, as I was putting that down, just before I got to it, the static electricity pulled the streamer right up into the tape. So that's why you have to be very, very careful as you're lining this up, that you're very, very good alignment. And then as you get closer, the streamer material may jump. In some situations, I actually tape the streamer material down. Sometimes I'll lay the ruler on it. Again, it will jump up, and sometimes when it does that, it's really, really hard to get the streamer unstuck. Okay, now this is really easy to do. Just very simply line this up, make sure the streamer is nice and very closely aligned, and just roll the tape down. And again, we're all set. So now we just rub this down. And this step is very important, as I've commented earlier. I'm not exactly sure what happens to it mechanically, but when you rub it really hard like this, the glue seems to just like soak into the mylar, and it makes an extremely tight bond. So now if I were to try to pull this apart, it would tear the mylar apart. The glue is bound that tightly. But you can see we now have our result. Now our spoiler, and as it moves this direction through the air is going to open this up. And we're going to have these two leaves, petals, whatever you want to call them, opening up, and they're going to be fluttering like this. And as it moves along, it's going to give us a braking effect, and it's going to cause this to be very disruptive to the air, and that disruptive air is going to carry all the way down the streamer, make the streamer flutter around, and it looks very, very nice, but additionally it generates a lot more drag. It makes the streamer much more effective. So this is a very interesting solution. I've experimented with using multiple spoilers. I've experimented with spoilers on only one side. I put spoilers in the middle. There's so many combinations to try, but this is the easiest one to do, and it is quite effective. Again, it's about a foot down from the leading edge. And what's nice is eventually when we roll this up, we're going to see in the next video, it rolls really nice. So you see this is going to roll together. So I put this one here as more of a practical issue, that it's really easy to wind in the streamer itself. Okay, so let's take a look at how do we wind the streamer, and I'll do that in the next video.